show. Tomo, floor is yours.
I don't know what happened there, fellas. I told you I was not touching nothing else until we got settled in. So we good now. I'll play the sounds later on. But of course, man, it's a sad day in Miami. It's a
Mm.
sad day in Dallas. It's definitely a sad day in LA. Because all these teams have something to say about what just happened last night. But the Boston Celtics only got one thing to say. We are the champions, my friends. Ah, Joe. I know it's turned up there, man. You say you're going to the parade, so we can't wait to see you get your Nick Wright on and go down there with the camera and be like, "Hey guys, I got cookies and everything from the Celtics. I finally believed in y'all. Y'all came all the way and y'all made it happen." Jason Tatum, anything's possible. It's just so many memes that just came from last night, but we got to talk about it. Let's talk about the reaction. Boston Celtics 2024 NBA Championship 18th banner is now going up. How we feeling outside of that background, Joe?
You know, feeling good. I'm not a Celtics fan. I'm just wearing the green to represent because I did pick the Celtics to win the NBA championship. I actually picked the Mavericks every single round too. So now I wasn't perfect. I got some rounds wrong. You know what I mean? I got a lot of things wrong. But at the end of the day, when you tally up the scores, your boy won. All right. So I appreciate the competition with Dave and Tomo and the TK Suite. Shout out to Kevo. Appreciate it. Good competition. We're going to continue with the NFL season. It's going to be a little tough for me. I'm going to have to borrow some teams this year. You feel me? I might have to do that, but we'll see. But congrats to the Boston Celtics. They definitely deserve this W. They seized the moment. They came into the season. I think the Bucks were favorite, right, Dave? The
Yeah.
Bucks were favorite, which was blasphemy. I told y'all last year the Bucks weren't better than the Celtics, but they didn't want to listen. But after that collapse to Miami last year, Brad Stevens went to work. He went in that kitchen, he went and got Porzingis, and I think we all in the NBA chat were like, oh, this is a good move. This is an extra guy that can get a bucket on his own outside of Tatum and Brown when things get tight, right? And then he said, you know what? The Bucks, you want to send Dane to Portland? Dane, not Dane. You want to send Drew to Portland? Hey, look, come on, ain't nothing. Hey, listen, I got you. Come all the way across the coast and we're gonna across the world. Sorry, across the country. We're gonna bring you to Boston, and that was the chess piece move for the Celtics, I believe. Replacing Marcus Smart. I think we all said this on the show, right? That Marcus Smart, yes, good defender, but he was wearing down, right? He wasn't as good as a defender he was last year. Drew Holiday, even though he got cooked by Jimmy Butler, but we knew Drew Holiday's worth. He's still a great defender, and he's actually a point guard. Marcus Smart is not a point guard. And the Celtics' issue is down the stretch, they don't have a true ball handler to settle things down and not turn the ball over. And Drew Holiday was that replacement for Marcus Smart. So they came in with high expectations. They ran through the NBA regular season, breaking all types of records. They had 14 more wins than the second place team in the East. That's crazy, right? You don't really hear that a lot. I know we talked about Shaq and them yesterday, right? And we said they won 67 games in second place, won 59. That's only 8. They had 14 more wins in second place. That's crazy. All right, so they did their thing. People say they weren't tested. I wasn't one of them. I just want to let y'all know that I want to know. Shout out to Carl in the comment section. People say they weren't tested, and because they went through an East that was injury real, and then guess what? They went against a fully healthy. Well, Luka wasn't healthy, but he wasn't healthy the whole playoffs. He beat Minnesota, he beat OKC, and they routed them, man. I mean, every game except for game 3, they blew them out. That they won. So the difference is like when they won in 2022, Al Horford cried. All right, when they won the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Al Horford cried. They were celebrating. I remember watching. I was like, you know what? The Warriors gonna win. And then when they won the East this year, they were about business. Nobody celebrated. They knew that their goal was to win the championship. They did that. So shout out to the Boston Celtics. Definitely deserve this dub.
Dave, you want to save the best for last? Because, I mean, Joe up here saying they didn't get tested and Jimmy Butler was injured. I'm just saying. That's the ultimate test.
All I got to say is this. Man, look. Congratulations to the Boston Celtics for winning the championship this year. Whether their path to the finals was easy or not, they beat the team that they went up against in the finals, which is the Dallas Mavericks. And at the end of the day, if you're picking against them, you can't now discredit them for winning the championship. You know, I had the Celtics getting to the finals because of what was in front of them. I didn't think that Miami would be able to beat them without Jimmy and Terry Rozier. I didn't think that the Cavaliers were good enough to beat them. I didn't think the Pacers were good enough to beat them. Donovan Mitchell got hurt, and so did Tyler Hansbrough. But either way, I didn't think they were going to be able to beat the Celtics. I picked Dallas to beat them in 6, and they beat Dallas in 5. So they did what they were supposed to do. Shout out to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown was the most consistent player. If we talk about all their players in that played in the finals, I think he only scored under 21 time, and that was in the loss. Other than that, he scored 20 points every single game. He had one 30-point game, and I think that was game 3 when he put up 30 and JT put up 31. Then he had the tough assignment to pretty much guard Luka every single game. So that was a top for him. And then Tatum, even when he wasn't scoring, he was involved in the game somehow. He was playing good defense. He was getting assists, rebounds. He made sure that he was involved to make sure he was getting his team win. And then Drew Holiday just made key play after key play after key play. No matter if it was a defensive play or a key bucket, a key 3, it doesn't matter what it was, he made plays. Derek White, even when he wasn't really hot from 3, he made plays on defense. Sam Hauser shot really good from 3 in the finals when he was pretty much missing throughout the rest of the playoffs. They all made plays. And then Peyton Pritchard, twice in the finals, the 2 threes that he made were half-court shots. So, I mean, it was destined for them. It was destined for them. And then if you look at the date that they won it, it's the same date that they won it 16 years ago with KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, and Kendrick Perkins and Rajon Rondo and those guys. And they did the same thing now. So, hats off to the Celtics. You know, I don't like them. I have a strong disdain for the Boston Celtics, but I'll congratulate them.
Kev, I don't know what you mean by that comment. We was winning up until a few other people jumped on the bandwagon. So you gotta get yourself together, brother. Just get it together.
Blame Carl.
I ain't gonna say too much. I ain't saying nothing. That's somebody else's fight. That's not my fight with my neighbor. But Joe, you said something earlier in the show about the Wizard streak. Technically, this streak did start in 2017. There's a few players, you know, we got the Golden State Warriors with Sean Livingston, JaVale McGee, you know, and then you can go back when Dwight was on the Wizards for a little while, and then you know who won in the bubble? The Lakers, Markieff Morris. I mean, Bobby Portis went to Milwaukee. They won a ring. Come on now. Then Gary Payton, Otto Porter, Golden State Warriors. JaVale McGee was also on that team. Then you go to Denver. There's so many Wizards ties just to these teams, and it's just so much going on that the Wizards need to be a part of it. Stop being ex-players and winning rings. But again, when the Wizards made their trade, I was like, look, man, I'm happy for Porzingis. Now you can go up there and actually get a ring. This is going to be the missing piece. I mean, technically, the Drew Holiday was the solidifier, but Porzingis, who didn't really play that much in the playoffs, but actually set the tone in the finals, gave them that 20-point advantage that they needed in one of those games. Shout out to consistency. You want to talk about consistency? I mean, Jaylen Brown was consistent, but the most consistent player on this team was Peyton Pritchard. Because how you just out here just shooting half-court shots like it's nothing, man, and you making them. Like, come on. They even get him off the bench in the last 10 seconds to make sure that they like, hey, don't touch that. Give it to Peyton. And Peyton delivers every single time, man. And hats off to the coaching staff. Hats off to all the fans that's in the chats. Hats off to the fans that's in Boston because, again, they made it hectic for Kyrie to come back home. And that right there, well, not home, but back to Boston. And that right there was a mental advantage that the Celtics technically really needed in this series because they just want, you got to think the Mavericks just beat the number 1 defense prior to coming into the finals. And that right there is why a lot of people were like, well, if they can beat the Timberwolves, who had the number 1 defense and was giving them a little pressure, this team right here, it should be 5-6 games easy. And Kyrie was not mentally prepared. I mean, Cookie Bet just went down the drain. Luka, his temperament just went down the drain, but hats off to what they got to do next year. The Mavericks are going in the right direction, but it was just time for the Celtics, man. It was their time. Congratulations.
Yeah, and Drew Holiday, man, champion, right? He's a champion, right? He brought that championship pedigree. Who scored the first 6 points? Drew Holiday did. He also had 11 rebounds as a guard. You know what I mean? That just shows you right there. He was like, all right, y'all, we winning this game. You know, so shout out to the Celtics, man. Well deserved.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the